Narcolepsy, a deeper dive.
Okay, help me get into this. Um, I was in school and I was having difficulty staying awake in class. I was having difficulty staying awake to study. I had 2 kids and a job and law school. And a part of me just thought it was a lot to do, and therefore I was tired. But I was apparently, uh, I had, I was diagnosed eventually with narcolepsy, which is characterized by excessive daytime sleepiness and also with difficulty sleeping at night. So the diagnosis helped because it explained things, but for a long time, there was no treatment that they knew about. And so I just had to cope with my strange sleep pattern, which was pretty much 2 hours on, 2 hours off, 2 hours on, 2 hours off, which doesn't work for most people. And I had the 2 kids I was raising as a single parent and a job. And it was no easy feat. I was grateful that I came in contact with someone who was studying narcolepsy and developing some drugs to treat it. And I got involved in the testing, and I was happy to assist in coming up with a couple of drugs that work well for making a person's life reasonably normal while having narcolepsy, which is pretty wonderful. I also then got involved as an advocate for narcoleptics. I went to New York, Washington, D.C., and testified in front of Congress at one point because there was resistance to allowing Ritalin, which was a date rape drug, to be used by narcoleptics to control our sleep patterns. And I don't remember that there were many other people that came and testified, but I was successful, or we were successful, in getting the Congress to agree not to ban Ritalin in its entirety, but to leave it open and available for people with narcolepsy. And otherwise, it's a controlled substance and is not allowed to be used by people for recreational purposes. That was a huge sigh of relief we heaved when they agreed with us that it should be available to narcoleptics. They were going to ban it entirely, and that was pretty scary because it was the one drug that we had available that made my life essentially normal. And otherwise, I was at a loss for the ability to stay awake during the day and sleep at night. I'm sorry.
What year was that?
Oh, I'm not really good with history. It was a long time ago.
Late 70s.
Yeah. The Narcolepsy Network paid for my trip to New York. I was on the board of directors of the Narcolepsy Network for maybe a decade, and attended meetings and helped to keep the services that the Narcolepsy Network provides for people with narcolepsy. And then I decided to let someone else take over. I got very tired. But for a long time, I was hanging out with some really wonderful people who all had narcolepsy and had learned to cope with it and then benefited from the drug that made life work better for us.